Hi everybody, so today I'm going to do a review on the sleek i-Devine palettes. So the i-Devine palette is basically sleek's 12 pan eyeshadow palettes. It costs $7.99 in the UK, but they do ship worldwide on their own website. A lot of people are talking about this on YouTube, and I do think it's a very good brand. So if you are looking and the products, so if you're looking to expand your makeup collection, or if you want to get some eyeshadow palettes but haven't decided yet, so hopefully this will be able to help you with some of the color swatches. I've also found some dupes from one of the palettes here with my Burberry eyeshadow palette, so I'll share that with you later as well. So let's get on to the palette. The palette is basically comes like this, comes with a box, and you open it up. It comes with this velvety kind of plastic, a little bit like the NARS palette, but not as bad as the NARS palette, as it doesn't transfer a lot of fingerprints. So if you open it up, it says sleek on the palette. The name and the number will be at the bottom. So the palette is basically comes like this. It comes with the mirror, and it comes with a little plastic paper that says all the names on the colors. They didn't used to have names on the palette, but they changed it a couple of years ago. I do have some of the very old version one. I think I bought my first sleek palette when it first came out, so I'll share that with you. But so basically it comes with a little sponge applicator. Basically that's what the palette looks like. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7 of these palettes, and they have 12 permanent shades on their website, but they do come out with not permanent, limited edition palettes all the time. So I have I believe 2 limited edition ones. So I'll still share that with you just in case you can't find them on eBay or any other websites, but I do think they are really good palettes. And so I'll start with the permanent palettes, and then I'll get on to the limited edition ones. So I'll start with the permanent palettes. So I have 5 of them plus this one. So the Storm palette and the original palette, I have these 2. These are my very old palettes. So these are the 2 palettes I bought when Sleek was first came out in the UK. So you can see the numbers and the names and all the information are in the middle of the palette, whereas a new one will be all at the bottom. So this is when they changed their packaging and their design, probably a little bit on their formula, I'm not sure, but also the price. So let's get on to the Storm and palette. I have rearranged the colours in these 2 palettes, because when I first got them, some of the colours I knew I wouldn't use them, and also the arrangement for me was slightly odd, so I changed them into the way I wanted them to be able to be placed. So if you want to see the actual colour arrangement on these, I'll put the link on the website below, but basically they all come with very neutral colours. All of them, apart from this brown and the other missing brown, which is a darker brown, are mattes, and one matte black. All the other colours are very shimmery colours, but they are really nice colours. I love the array of pink colours. I have 2 which are identical, so you get one of these colours from the Storm palette and the original palette. And also this one is basically a charcoal grey, and as you can tell, it's very pigmented. It's very smooth, it doesn't have fallouts, it's just really nicely made. And this one is a brown. It's a really dark burnt brown. Let's try the matte. The matte one is actually my favourite one. It's very similar to the Urban Decay Naked palette, the lighter one. So this is very much like the Naked in the Naked palette, or in you can get this on singles now. In fact, let me just get my Naked palette so I can do a comparison for you. So this is the Naked, and then this is the matte. So they are fairly similar. The texture wise, the matte colour I found from the Sleek palettes are not as soft as the Urban Decay ones. However, the pigmentation is very good. It's still very soft. The colour, it's really to my liking. I use it to contour my nose. So that's the Storm palette. And then the next one is the Ultra Matte palette. Since we're on the matte topic, this is also permanent. So this is the second version of the matte palette. They have two. The other one is called version 1, which is the lights. So they have some very pastel colors which I don't use on a daily basis. But let me just quickly swatch some of that for you. This green is insanely pigmented. In fact, I think it's got a little bit loose in the pigmentation or something, because it just keeps, it's got some fallout, and if just one touch and then it goes all the way down, it's still got colors. So that's insane. How about this blue? It's still crazy, not as bad as the green, so I will be very careful using these kind of colors, but you can tell the pigmentation is tremendously good. And this color is very nice. It's basically a light cranberry red. Have I got fingers? So that's the cranberry red. It's really, really nice. So the matte color palettes, I would recommend it. It is very nice. I personally wouldn't recommend the lighter one because the colors, I've swatched them in the shop, but they are not as pigmented as this one. However, if you do like pastel colors, they might be a really good choice for you. The next one is the Au Natrurel palette, which is the Naked palette. So it says Au Natrurel, and it has the majority of matte colors in there and a couple of shimmery colors. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmery colors, and all the others are matte. And they have a matte black, a matte dark brown, a shimmery brownish, greenish, black, very unique color there, another brown which got a green tint, and then on the top there are some very nice colors. I particularly like this color. I think this is a really, really nice neutral color to use all over the lid. So out of these color, what I find is this yellow color here and this very dark brownish, it's got a little bit reddish brown, are very, very similar or a dupe to the Burberry Mocha palette. So I'll quickly do a swatch for you. So if you are looking for the Burberry palette as well, and then it's a good opportunity for you to find some really nicely duped colors from this palette. So this is a dark one, it's a light one, and this is the palette I was talking about. So this is the Burberry Mocha No. 2 palette. If I can ever open these. They are magnetized palettes, so not the easiest thing to open. If you have cream or grease on your hand, then there's no way you can open them. But anyway, so this is the color I was referring to. So this is the very, very dark brown, also got a red tinge to it. And let me swatch this one for you next to the palette, Sleek palette. So as you can tell, this one is not as shimmery to the Sleek palette, but the color is very, very similar. The other one is this one in the middle. So it's a very yellowish brown, and I'll put this next to this one. So as you can tell, it is very similar. So it's a good palette if you want to dupe for this. Very cheap, it's a fraction of the money, so that's a really good find. So let's get on to the very last palette of the permanent shades that I have. So the last one I have is the primer palette. So the primer palette is basically, Sleek says it's a primer, a colourful primer to use underneath your normal eyeshadows. However, this is my only I wouldn't recommend these for simply as primers. I do think you need a separate primer because they don't hold down the eyeshadows and the crease. So, but the colors are nice. They're not as pigmented as the powder eyeshadows, maybe because they are primers anyway. So this is the purple one. So it's still nice, but you do have to really dig your finger into there to get a good swatch. and this is the other one. So this one reminds me very much of the Orgasm multiples from NARS. So it's a very similar color, and I think I can use this one as a blush as well. So that would be a really nice cream blush. There is a beige color in there as well, but it's probably not going to show up very well. No. So there's some red, some pink, there's a grey, and there's a white, and this one is a black. Let's see the black. It's not bad. So if you like something like this to do very colourful eyes, maybe it will be a good choice. However, to the colour stain, the powers of holding your eyeshadows, it's not great. So that's the only palette that I won't be necessarily recommend for everybody, because I don't think it's on par with any other of their cream or powder eyeshadow. Then I have two limited edition palettes which I'll just briefly talk about, because I know it's difficult to get hold of. So the first one is the Apesh palette. I'm not sure if my pronunciation for French is great, but this is the Paraguaya palette. I think it came out about last year or probably more than a year ago, but this one is basically very peachy palette. I got this palette because it has some neutral colors, and some of the peachy colors I thought might be a really good addition or way of using as blushes. They are really good. They are very pigmented, so I have to use a very light hand when I use them for blushes, but these peachy colors are just so great, and not great for eyeshadows to me, but they are really great for blushes. And as you can tell, this is the one for the limited edition one, and the other one, which is the very I do believe this is the very last limited edition one, which is the Shangri-La collection Respect palette. So if you can still get hold of it, I do think this is a really great palette. And let me take off the sponge tip applicator. So if you can still find it, do get it, because they have some amazing colors. This is the one that's the same with the in the Paraguaya palette. So the orange, shimmery orange, pink, glittery kind of orgasm kind of color, and they have some really nice matte colors which are really great for base. A little peachy nude kind of colors, and they have this shimmery color which is taupe. And what I found is this is exactly dupe for the satin taupe from MAC. In fact, it's more pigmented, I think, and it's actually a lot softer than the satin taupe. Sorry, the sun is gone and it's now started to rain, but all in all, I really like these palettes and I would recommend them. So if you are thinking to get them, I do think there are some really great palettes that will definitely suit you, and it's great value for money. Even with the colourful palettes, I think it is a great addition, because you never know, you might need some colours. I'm really into the wineish colour at the moment, so they are really nice. The primer palette is one I would have a little bit concern of. However, it's personal choice. If you do use them, that's great. And the Naked palette is something I would highly recommend if you like neutrals. They are by far my favourite palettes in here. The Storm and the original palettes are the most popular one, and they have very good selection of colours in there. So if you have those two palettes, and then you are pretty good to go. So if you are thinking of them, and do check their websites, and they if you are in the UK, they have some offers on Sleek makes great makeup products. They have some face products, some face powder products that are really nice. They have the face foam, which I have as well, so if you do want to have a review on that, and then I'm happy to do that as well. They have great eyeliners. They are really creamy and long lasting. So I hope you find this video useful, and I'll see you next time. Bye!